Fight or Flight is an aerial theater company where we essentially just put plays on trapeze.
We all started out at the same grad school. So we started out telling stories just on the ground. We all learned how to do stuff in the air. So we start from telling the story as it is. And then sometimes, like a musical, you know, like the old idea about musicals is that when the emotion gets so high, people just start singing. Well, like I feel like in the storytelling, we could start out telling it all on the ground, but there are moments where we want to lift the way something looks. We want it to have that thing where it's suddenly lifted off the ground, literally and figuratively, and that's when we move up into the air.
There are some obvious moments, like when we were doing Henry V, we knew that on the battlefield, everyone would be on horses, so we're like, okay, there's a move that's very obvious on the trapeze, like, that's a horse.
Rarely is the trapeze a trapeze in our play. It can be your actual scene partner. It can be dancing with your significant other or something. It can be your significant other. It can be like, oh, I'm having this like emotional wedding dance, or like getting it on, making love to the trapeze. Like, you know, it can be your lover. It can be like an actual physical person or character that you might interact with, but also it can be the kind of means through which you express that.
There's something so compelling about a good actor who has a story, who has an objective, who knows what they want, walking up and just looking at this. It's just as it's sitting there, and you can watch them imbue this thing with whatever it is that's living in their mind, and this thing immediately becomes alive without anybody even touching it, without it even moving.
Obviously, telling a story, ideally, you're connecting with some emotional aspect of what someone's going through, and that's kind of ideally what all theater and all plays are doing. And we do that because we do plays, and then also having this kind of extra imaginative element like works both in the head and the heart. And it's a little bit, it's dangerous.
And there are weekly training sessions, which I try to go to as much as possible. So sometimes when rehearsals start, you find yourself a little bit out of shape, and those buckles really hurt when they're squeezing against your body on the traps.
Even when we're not working on a show, we'll still have these weekly workshops so we don't lose it, so we don't have to start from scratch. But they're pretty grueling, especially when we're working out in a space that doesn't have air conditioning.
Even when we do dramatic work, it still ends up being pretty funny. When I say to people, like, you know, what are you, we're a trapeze theater company, and I can't not say it with like a little smirk, because it's like,
it's a little preposterous.
It's a little outrageous.
The pathway to sneaky moments of beauty and sneaky moments of inspiration is through laughter. If you make people laugh and have a silly moment, and we've all kind of relaxed for a second because we've joked about this thing, then suddenly they're surprised and taken aback when something really unexpectedly beautiful or touching happens.
Funny and pretty is much better than pretty funny.